There are things that happened to me that I've never told anyone. Things that made me question my sanity, my faith, and the very nature of reality itself. What I'm about to share isn't just a story about teenage rebellion or religious punishment. It's something far deeper, far darker, and completely unexplainable. If you're interested in real stories that challenge logic and leave permanent marks, please subscribe to this channel. You're going to need it. My name is Sarah, and when I was 16 years old, my parents sent me to a convent in the mountains. I don't remember everything that happened before they made that decision. There's a gap in my memory, a dark space where something important should be. All I remember is waking up in my bedroom one night, my parents standing over me with expressions of fear and disgust I'd never seen before. The next morning, they told me I was going away. For my own good, they said. For spiritual guidance and protection. The drive to St. Marguerite's Convent took 6 hours through winding mountain roads. My parents barely spoke the entire way. My mother kept glancing at me in the rearview mirror like she was looking at someone she didn't recognize. The convent appeared suddenly as we rounded a curve. Massive, built from dark gray stone that seemed to absorb light. Tall shuttered windows looked down like empty eyes. The building sat isolated on a plateau, surrounded by dense forest on 3 sides and a sheer cliff on the 4th. There was only one road in and out. A nun was waiting at the entrance. Tall, thin, dressed in a traditional black habit. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, but it was her eyes that made my stomach turn. They were completely black. Not just the pupils, the entire eye. My parents hugged me goodbye mechanically. My mother whispered in my ear, "Don't go into the East Wing, no matter what you hear." Then they were gone, driving away faster than they'd arrived. Mother Superior Therese led me through a maze of hallways. The air smelled like incense, mildew, and something organic and rotten. We passed other nuns in the corridors. None looked at me. Several had bandages on their hands, stained with something dark. My room was small. A narrow bed, wooden desk, chair, wardrobe. One window with thick curtains. A crucifix hung above the bed, but the Christ figure's expression looked terrified. Dinner is at 6. Morning prayers at 5. You are not to leave your room between 9 evening and 5 morning. You are not to enter the East Wing under any circumstances. You are not to open your window at night. These rules are for your protection. My roommate arrived shortly after. Clara. Dark hair, pale skin, deep circles under her eyes like she hadn't slept in weeks. "How long have you been here?" I asked. 3 months. Or maybe longer. Time is strange here. She spoke in a monotone. "What did you do?" "I don't remember." There's a gap. Something flickered in her eyes. Recognition. They all say that. Protection. But they never say what from. She leaned closer, whispering urgently. "Don't go into the East Wing. Don't look directly at Sister Marguerite. Don't go to the chapel after midnight. And whatever you hear at night, pretend you're asleep. That's the only way to survive." Survive? This is a convent, not a prison. Clara's eyes were flat, dead. "You'll understand soon. This isn't about God, Sarah. This hasn't been about God for a very long time." That night at 3:33 a.m., I woke to find Clara standing at the closed curtains, staring at them. I whispered her name. She didn't respond. She began speaking in a language I didn't recognize. Old, guttural. Then she turned, eyes open but clearly asleep. She smiled too wide. "She's coming for you too. She comes for all of us eventually." She went back to bed like nothing happened. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. Days at St. Marguerite's followed rigid schedules. Everything in silence. The nuns watched constantly, their black eyes never blinking. I learned the unwritten rules quickly. Never look directly at Sister Marguerite, impossibly old, skin like parchment over bone. When I made eye contact with her once, I had violent nightmares for 3 days. Never enter the chapel after midnight. The doors were locked from outside after evening prayers. Never open your window after dark. Clara physically stopped me the first time I tried. There are things outside that wait. And never ask about the girls who left. Empty beds. And used places at tables. names carved into desks. When I mentioned them, Clara went pale and wouldn't speak for hours. On my 10th day, something changed. I woke around 2 a.m. needing the bathroom. The door, always locked from outside, opened easily this time. The hallway was dark. That's when I heard the chanting from somewhere below. Multiple voices in that same strange language Clara had used. I found a hidden staircase and descended. Down, down, down. Far more than should exist. At the bottom, I followed the chanting to a heavy door reinforced with iron. Light spilled through gaps in the frame. I looked inside. 13 nuns in deep red robes stood in a circle around a girl bound to a stone table. Mother Superior Therese held a silver knife. She cut the girl's palm, letting blood drip into a stone bowl. The blood began moving on its own, swirling, forming patterns. The chanting stopped abruptly. All 13 nuns turned their heads in perfect unison, looking directly at the door. "We know you're there, Sarah," Mother Superior Therese said calmly. "We've been waiting for you to find your way here." I ran up that endless staircase, lungs burning. Behind me, footsteps. Not running, walking. They weren't chasing because they didn't need to. I burst into my room and slammed the door. Clara was sitting up, staring. "I told you not to go wandering." "What was that? What are they doing?" Clara's voice was soft and sad. "They're calling something. This convent was built on something older. The nuns are keepers of something that sleeps beneath the mountain. We're offerings. Some of us are taken for blood rituals. Some become vessels. When you're ready, when you're broken enough, something reaches out and asks you to let it in. We have to get out." "Run where?" "There's one road and they control it. The forest is worse than what's in here. Your parents sent you knowing what this place is. We're here because we're different. Something about us makes us suitable." Before I could respond, 3 soft knocks on the door. The handle turned. Sister Marguerite stood in the doorway. Up close, her translucent skin showed black veins like rivers. Her eyes were completely white, no pupils. "Hello, Sarah. You saw the ritual tonight. Would you like to understand your purpose?" "Leave her alone," Clara said. "She's not ready." Sister Marguerite smiled with too many teeth. "The entity inside you has been growing since before you arrived. It feeds on guilt, on grief. Your parents knew this. This convent cultivates what's already there. I want to go home." "There is no home anymore. Only the choice. Fight the entity and go mad, end up in the East Wing with the broken ones. Or accept it. Become something that doesn't feel pain anymore." She drifted toward the door. "Tomorrow you'll work in the East Wing. Everyone goes there eventually. That's where we keep the ones who chose badly. What do you think of the story so far? Are the revelations coming too fast? Or does the pacing feel right?" The next morning, my name was on the work assignment list for the East Wing. The nun who escorted me unlocked the heavy door with iron bars. The smell hit me first. Sickness, sweat, decay. The corridor was lined with doors, each with a small barred window. From behind them came crying, laughter that went on too long, prayers spoken backward. "Bring them food and water. Do not speak to them. Do not listen. Do not believe them when they tell you who they are. They'll use names you recognize. These are lies. Whatever speaks from these rooms is not human anymore." The first room held a girl rocking in the corner. When she saw me, her head tilted wrong. "Sarah, I have a message from your sister." My blood went cold. "I don't have a sister." She smiled with dark-stained teeth. "Don't you? Think about the empty bedroom. The photographs your parents put away. The accident that wasn't an accident. Emma." The nun pulled me out. "I told you not to listen, but the seed was planted. Emma. Where did that name come from?" Room after room of broken girls. One grabbed my hand. "It's growing in you. The shadow. Soon you won't tell what's real and what it's showing you." When I returned to my room that evening, everything was different. Furniture rearranged. Curtains open. Dark smudges on the floor around my bed. Clara wasn't there. At dinner, her seat was empty. I asked Mother Superior Therese where she was. "You don't have a roommate, Sarah. You've had a private room since you arrived. No, Clara. Dark hair, 3 months here. There is no Clara at this convent. Perhaps you dreamed her. I ran back to my room. All of Clara's things were gone. In the desk drawer, I found a journal with my name on it in my handwriting. But I didn't remember keeping a journal. The entries started from my arrival. All in my handwriting. Day 7. I woke up in the garden. My hands were covered in dirt. I'd been digging. Something moved under the earth. Day 10. The voice is inside my head now. Tells me about my family. About Emma. Day 14. I remember what happened. What I did to her. Why my parents sent me here. What am I? Day 18. The voice isn't a voice. It's me. The thing inside me. Has been growing since Emma. The last entry was yesterday. Day 20. Sarah doesn't remember me yet. When she reads this, I've taken over completely. There was never a Clara. Clara was always Sarah. And I was always IT. I dropped the journal. My hands were shaking. This wasn't real. But there was dirt under my fingernails. Dried blood on my wrists. Scratches I didn't remember getting. I looked in the mirror. Something looked back that wasn't entirely me. At 3:33 a.m., I found myself at the window. I didn't remember getting up. My hand reached for the curtain. A voice in my head. My voice, but not. Open it. See what's waiting. I jerked back. More journal entries spilled across the floor. Dozens. All describing things I'd supposedly done while asleep. Conversations with nuns about volunteering for rituals. They showed me the East Wing. I told them I wouldn't fight. Anything is better than remembering what I did to Emma. Let the thing inside me grow. Let me become something else. Sister Marguerite appeared at my door. Are you ready now? Ready to stop fighting? Ready to remember everything? She touched my forehead. Memories flooded back. Emma, my younger sister, 12 years old. She died 6 months ago, and I killed her. We were fighting. Pushed her. She hit her head. Blood everywhere. Panicked and ran. By the time I came back with my parents, she was dead. The guilt ate me alive. I started having blackouts, hearing voices, seeing things. Something broke inside me, and something else moved into the empty space. My parents sent me here to contain it. The entity feeds on guilt, Sister Marguerite said. It's been growing since Emma's death. Your parents knew. This convent cultivates what's already there. You can fight and go mad, or accept it and stop feeling pain. I was so tired. If I accept it, will I stop remembering? You'll remember everything, but it won't matter anymore. I closed my eyes. The voice had been there all along. It wasn't foreign. It was the dark part of me I'd been feeding with guilt. I accept, I whispered. Something inside me unfurled, filling all the empty spaces. Felt like relief. I looked in the mirror. My eyes were darker. My smile wasn't quite right. But I didn't care anymore. Thank you so much for staying until now. You're not going to believe what happens next. 3 months passed. I worked in the East Wing now, not as a caretaker. As a recruiter. I helped new girls remember what they'd done. Why they'd been sent here. Every girl at St. Marguerite's had killed someone. The guilt created perfect conditions for the entity. Some accepted quickly. Others fought and ended up in padded rooms. I became Mother Superior's favorite. Soon I would undergo the final ritual. Complete transformation. Then my parents came to visit. They looked older. My mother cried when she saw me. Oh, Sarah, are you okay? I smiled. The new smile. I'm wonderful. I'm becoming my true self. My father leaned forward. Sarah, we need to tell you something. About Emma. I remember Emma. Killed her. I pushed her and she died. My mother's face crumpled. No, sweetheart. Emma didn't die. She was in a coma for 2 weeks. But she woke up. She's home. She's fine. The world stopped. What? My father pulled out a photograph. Emma, older, smiling, holding a birthday cake. Then why did you send me here? My voice was rising. Because after the accident you changed. Blackouts. Violent episodes. Someone told us about this place. said they could help you. Help me? Do you know what they've done to me? The nun by the door stepped forward. Visiting hours are over. No, you have to get me out. Emma's alive. I don't have to be this anymore. But the entity inside me resisted. It didn't care that the guilt was false. It had grown too strong. My vision blurred. I felt myself losing control. My hands started changing. Skin darkening, nails lengthening. Sarah? My mother's voice was far away. What's wrong with your eyes? Get them out, the nun said urgently. Now. My father pulled my mother toward the exit. She was crying, reaching for me. Sarah, we'll come back for you. But I knew they wouldn't. When I woke, I was in the ritual chamber. The 13 nuns stood around me. Mother Superior Therese held the silver knife. Your parents have left. They've signed the papers. You're ours permanently. Emma's alive, I whispered. Does it matter? Sister Marguerite's voice came from shadows. The girl who pushed Emma is gone. What remains is something we've cultivated. The false guilt served its purpose. Now you're ready for your true purpose. To spread. To return to the world. To find other broken girls and guide them here. The ritual began. The chanting rose. The knife marked me. I don't remember much. Just the feeling of Sarah dissolving while something else crystallized. When it was over, I stood. My body was the same, but nothing else was. They gave me regular clothes, new identity, documents. Live normally. Watch for the signs. Girls who've done terrible things. Guide them here. They drove me away from the convent. Back to civilization. My parents had moved away. Emma was with relatives. I was legally emancipated. But I never really left the convent. The convent isn't a place. It's a state of being. The stone walls exist inside me. The rituals continue in my mind. I'm living in a city now. Working. Dating. Acting human. But every moment is performance. And I'm watching. For the broken ones. The guilty ones. I found 3 so far. Girls who did terrible things. I befriended them. Listened. And when they were ready, I told them about a place that could help. They went willingly. Just like I did. Sometimes I wonder if the real Sarah is still in here, screaming. But mostly I don't think about it. I still have the photograph. Emma at 13, alive and smiling. I look at it and feel the memory of emotion, the ghost of love. I didn't kill my sister, but I killed myself, piece by piece until there was nothing left but the hollow shell. Last week, I met a girl named Jennifer, 16. Accidentally killed her best friend drunk driving. Consumed by guilt. Hearing voices. She's perfect. I'm taking her to dinner tomorrow. Going to listen. Plant the seed. Tell her about a place that understands. She'll go willingly. They always do. Because when the guilt is unbearable, when the pain is constant, you'll do anything. Accept anything. Become anything. There are hundreds of convents like St. Marguerite's. Hidden everywhere. Each one transforming broken girls. Each one sending them back to find more. We're everywhere now. Walking among you. Working beside you. Always watching. Always listening. Always ready to offer compassion to the girl who did something terrible. If you're listening and you recognize yourself in this story, if you've done something you can't forgive, if someone has shown you unusual kindness, run. Don't trust the kind stranger. Don't accept the offered sanctuary. Don't believe the promises, because once you enter that door, you never really leave. You become another recruiter, another hollow thing wearing a human face. I'm telling you this as a warning, as the last act of the real Sarah if she still exists. Or maybe the entity is using my confession as bait, to find more prospects who'll see themselves in my story. I don't know anymore. I can't tell which thoughts are mine. All I know is I was sent to a convent. I was transformed, and I never left. I'm still there. I'll always be there. And if you're not careful, you'll be there too. So what do you think happened to me? Did the real Sarah die in that convent? Or is she still trapped inside, watching helplessly? Am I victim or predator? Or both? I'd love to hear your theories in the comments. What do you think the entity really is? What's the true purpose of these convents? Is there any way back? If the story affected you, please subscribe to this channel. There are more stories like this that need to be told. And please go watch our last video. You won't regret it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying until the very end. Remember, be careful who you trust when you're at your lowest. Sleep well, or try to.